Welcome gamers! Today on Vanzee Gaming, we're unleashing the true power of the new king, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5. This chipset is an absolute masterpiece for emulation. We're pushing it through a massive 35-game gauntlet on Winlator to see just how elite it really is. Check the pinned comment for the full gameplay links and the exact settings used. Let's dive in. God of War Ragnarok continues Kratos' legendary Norse journey with breathtaking scale. Running on Winlator, it maintains around 40 FPS. To get the best results from the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5, it is highly recommended to fine-tune your container settings to ensure smooth combat during boss fights. Dead Space Remake brings modern terror to the deep reaches of space. This chipset handles the intense lighting and shadows well, fluctuating between 30 and 40 FPS. Finding the right balance in your internal resolution is key to keeping the horror atmosphere consistent without losing performance. Assassin's Creed Odyssey offers a massive open-world adventure across ancient Greece. Performance on this hardware stays in a good range of 40 to 50 FPS. Be sure to optimize your graphical profiles in the emulator to help the CPU manage the dense crowds and vibrant city details effectively. Silent Hill 2 Remake recreates the psychological dread of the original with stunning fidelity. This silicon manages a steady flow between 40 and 50 FPS. Adjusting your DXVK settings within Winlator can help you find that sweet spot for a more responsive and atmospheric experience. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 delivers fast-paced, high-tech shooter action. Performance on this chipset averages a smooth 60 FPS, making the gunplay feel incredibly snappy. Don't forget to check your rendering mode to ensure the particle effects stay fluid during the most chaotic scenes. Resident Evil 4 Remake is a technically demanding survival horror masterpiece. This processor averages between 20 and 30 FPS on Winlator. To help the hardware manage the updated visuals, try experimenting with lower internal resolution scales for a more predictable and stable frame delivery. Resident Evil Village takes the horror to a snowy gothic setting with great success. Performance on this hardware fluctuates nicely between 40 and 60 FPS. Finding a personalized configuration for your setup will help keep the frame rate toward the higher end while exploring a castle. Rise of the Tomb Raider combines cinematic storytelling with detailed environments, running at 40 to 50 FPS. This chipset captures the snowy peaks and ancient tombs beautifully. Be sure to optimize your GPU rendering settings to keep Lara's adventures looking sharp and feeling fluid. Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the most demanding open-world titles, and it hovers around 20 to 30 FPS here. This silicon is pushed to its limits by Night City's dense detail. Scaling down your textures and draw distance in the game menu is essential for a more consistent performance. Uncharted 4 brings Nathan Drake's final journey with incredible cinematic detail, maintaining roughly 30 FPS. This hardware handles the lush landscapes quite well. Adjusting your system driver configurations in the emulator can help maintain a smooth flow through the action-packed set pieces. Sonic Frontiers offers a massive open-zone platforming experience, running between 30 and 40 FPS. This processor keeps the high-speed movement feeling quite responsive. To ensure the fast combat stays fluid, don't hesitate to play with your Box 64 presets to maximize the CPU's output. FIFA 22 provides an exceptionally smooth football experience, reaching a massive 90 to 120 FPS. This chipset absolutely breezes through the pitch. Since performance is so high, feel free to push every graphical setting to the maximum to enjoy the ultimate mobile football simulation. Marvel's Spider-Man lets you swing through a vibrant New York at 30 to 40 FPS. This silicon handles the physics and open-world density impressively. Be sure to fine-tune your container's memory settings to keep the web swinging and combat looking and feeling fluid as you traverse the city. Devil May Cry 5 features some of the most stylish action combat available, averaging a smooth 60 FPS. This chipset makes every combo and transformation feel incredibly snappy. Optimize your internal graphical presets to ensure that the flashy effects don't impact the high-speed gameplay. GTA 4 remains a physics-heavy challenge, but it runs great at 60 FPS on this hardware. Liberty City feels alive and responsive. To maintain this high level of fluidity, check your rendering presets to ensure the engine doesn't struggle during high-speed police chases. Borderlands 3 offers chaotic looter-shooter action with a unique cel-shaded style. Performance fluctuates between 40 and 60 FPS on this processor. Finding the right balance in your shader cache settings will help reduce any stutters during the heavy explosions and intense firefights. Tekken 7 brings the King of Iron Fist tournament with high-fidelity fighting, averaging 50 to 60 FPS. This silicon captures the fast inputs and particle effects perfectly. Be sure to optimize your frame pacing in Winlator to keep the competitive combat feeling as sharp as possible. Control features a mind-bending environment with heavy physics and debris. This chipset maintains a range of 30 to 40 FPS. To keep the supernatural combat fluid, try experimenting with your resolution scale to help the hardware manage the complex environmental destruction. No Man's Sky offers an infinite universe of exploration, running at a smooth 60 FPS on this hardware. The planetary transitions are handled quite well. Don't forget to check your CPU affinity settings to help the emulator process the procedurally generated worlds more efficiently. Need for Speed Payback brings high-stakes action racing ranging between 30 and 50 FPS. This processor handles the desert environments and car physics decently. Fine-tuning your internal configuration is key to keeping the frame rate towards the 50s during intense cinematic missions. Crysis Remastered is the legendary test for any hardware, and it hits a smooth 60 FPS on this silicon. The jungle visuals are handled impressively well. Ensure you are using the best possible turnip driver version within Winlator to get the most out of this iconic shooter. Assassin's Creed 3 takes the fight for freedom to the American Revolution, averaging 40 to 50 FPS. This chipset captures the dense forests and frontier battles well. Adjusting your environment variables in the emulator will help keep the free-running and combat feeling snappy. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag brings the golden age of piracy to life at around 40 FPS. This hardware handles the naval combat and tropical islands with good detail. Optimize your container setup to ensure the ocean waves and ship physics don't slow down your pirate adventure. Assassin's Creed Syndicate features the industrial bustle of Victorian London, ranging between 30 and 40 FPS. This processor manages the city's complex architecture reasonably well. Tweak your graphical profiles to maintain a more consistent flow while navigating the rooftops and streets. Assassin's Creed Unity is famous for its massive crowds, and it runs well at 50 to 60 FPS here. This silicon proves its power by handling revolutionary Paris so smoothly. Be sure to check your memory allocation to keep the parkour through the city feeling responsive and fluid. Elden Ring Nightreign brings the challenging world building of From Software, maintaining roughly 30 FPS. This chipset handles the dark atmosphere and combat decently on Winlator. Finding a specific configuration for your device is recommended to keep the frame rate stable during boss encounters. Metro Exodus offers a stunningly detailed post-apocalyptic world, reaching an impressive 60 to 70 FPS. This processor shows incredible strength with this title. Push your internal settings higher to enjoy the atmospheric wasteland without sacrificing the fluid movement and response time. Days Gone features massive freaker hordes and open-road survival, averaging 30 to 40 FPS. This hardware manages the bike physics and environment well. To help the CPU handle the large number of enemies, try optimizing your Box 64 configuration within the emulator's menu. A Plague Tale: Innocence delivers a gripping story with heavy environmental effects, ranging between 40 and 60 FPS. This silicon captures the dark, rat-infested world beautifully. Finding a balanced performance profile will help you enjoy the cinematic journey with high stability. Dying Light combines parkour with survival horror at 40 to 60 FPS. This chipset handles the fast-paced movement in zombie combat quite well. Be sure to optimize your rendering mode to keep the transition between day and night cycles feeling fluid and consistent. Dying Light 2 offers a much more demanding open-world experience, averaging 30 to 40 FPS. This processor is working hard to process the dense urban landscape. Scaling down your graphical detail is a good way to ensure the parkour remains responsive as you traverse the rooftops. Guilt is a visually unique stealth horror adventure that runs at a smooth 60 FPS on this hardware. The stylized lighting looks great. Since the performance is high, you can push the resolution settings to make the world look as sharp as possible while navigating the shadows. Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice demands perfect timing, and it maintains around 30 to 40 FPS. This silicon handles the fast swordplay and intense boss battles well. Fine-tuning your DXVK and driver settings is essential here to keep the parry response as snappy as possible. Batman: Arkham Knight concludes the trilogy with heavy rain and a massive city, averaging 40 to 60 FPS. This chipset manages the Batmobile and Gotham City impressively. Check your rendering presets to help maintain a higher frame rate during fast chases and combat. Battlefield 1 brings the scale of the Great War with impressive detail, running at a smooth 60 FPS. This processor captures the massive maps and destructible environments perfectly. Optimize your CPU settings to ensure the chaotic multiplayer-style battles remain fluid and responsive. There you have it, the Snapdragon 8 Elite Gen 5 is in a league of its own. 35 games tested, and the results are just incredible. This chip is definitely the new gold standard for PC emulation. Which game impressed you the most? Let me know in the comments. Like and subscribe for more. Catch you in the next one.